what's up, guys? Hey, thanks for tuning in. That's right, we're gonna be here to talk about this guy right here. This beautiful piece of artwork that I hold in my hand is an intercooler from RPM Powersports. These guys are coming up with some awesome stuff for your cars. That's right, this is for a 2020 Polaris Pro XP. I think it's also for the Turbo S, but they also make them for the Can-Am Maverick X3, you know, just name it. Go head over to rpmsidebyside.com, check out what they got, and trust me, this thing is badass. We're gonna go ahead and replace that crappy stock one that will break and it will hydrolock your motor if you're not careful. We're gonna replace it with this thing here. Cooler temperatures, more power. I mean, what more can you ask for? Stay tuned, guys. All right, so let's just talk about one of the first things, obviously, is just how beefy this thing is. I mean, it is so much thicker, so much better, so much stronger than your stock one. And we're gonna go ahead and pull that off right now. I'm gonna show you the difference between both of them. But I mean, let's just talk about the fin, the quality, the size. I mean, this thing is badass. I'm super pumped on it, and I can't thank the guys at RPM Powersports enough for the opportunity to install this and make a video for you guys. So huge shout out to them. Like I said, head over to rpmsxs.com. Check out what they have. They have so many cool parts. If you haven't seen my charge tube and blow off valve video, go ahead and check that out. That thing has been amazing. amazing. I'm super pumped on all their stuff. So like I said, huge shout out to RPM Powersports. And what we're gonna do is, actually, I'll tell you this. I just am replacing the coolant, and so I thought, what a better time to show you guys this video than right now. So what we're gonna have to do, and if you don't normally do it, you don't have to do it, but it's easier if you don't have coolant in your system, because what we're gonna do is there is two coolant lines right here and right there. That's your in and out. And since my thing is done, I don't have to worry about coolant dripping everywhere. So my system is emptied out, which is awesome. But I guess if you don't have an emptied system, what I would do is maybe just put a clamp here and a clamp there, just to clamp it so that we don't make it much of a mess. But since I don't have coolant in the system, now's a great time to do it. And we're gonna install this thing. Just look at the difference in sizes, and ports are even bigger. I mean, this thing is just amazing. So stay tuned. We're gonna go ahead and install this thing, see the difference between the both of them. And it's fairly easy. Luckily these Pro XPs, everything's open, and I'm missing half of my back, the back of the Pro XP, which is easier for me. But 8mm bolts, just pull those out, pull these hose clamps off, it pops right off. As simple as that. So let's go ahead and get that off and check out this thing. Okay, well, what I thought was going to be super easy, and I thought I was going to be able to have enough space to pull it out straight, but unfortunately, when I pull it, it hits right there. It hits right here, and doesn't allow me to pull it up. So what I'll have to do is unbolt this whole thing right here, pick it up, and hopefully it'll be pretty easy to kind of rotate it up and then pull it out this way, or move it this way and pull it straight out this way. I don't know. Well, I thought it was gonna be a lot easier than it was, but I guess not. So I think there's a bolt down here, and then these clamps right there, which are just kind of like hose clamps right there, and those three should unhook that. That way I can rotate it up a little bit and hopefully get it done. Let's see. Alright, so now that I've got everything unbolted, I'm going to go ahead and flip this guy up here and try to take out this thing. That's definitely, whoa! Let me dump it right here. there's definitely still going to be some coolant. Definitely still going to be some coolant inside there, and I'm glad you guys got to see that because it's something to look out for. I thought I drained the whole system, but there's so many nooks and crannies inside these engines that there's still coolant everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to reuse this piece that's hanging off right here. Let's set it right there. We're going to be reusing this seal right here because this seal goes underneath like that, and you need that to create a seal. But let's compare the two right now. So first off the bat is, I mean, just overall quality. You can see, let's see. There's the RPM one right here, and this is the stock one. Oh, let's pull this off. Sorry about that. So look at the thickness of the top part right there, the top flange. That is way thicker on the RPM. On this guy right here, Jesus, that was almost tragic. But what I was gonna say is the stock one only has one tank, and it comes down there, passes through, you use these fins to cool it, and that's it. Versus the RPM one has two tanks right there, goes back and forth through these cooling fins, and the size of the ports here are going to be much bigger too. Bigger, better quality. This is a stock one. It is significantly lighter, that's for sure. So I mean, lighter is probably cheaper. Cheaper means it'll crack, and not what you want. So on this guy here, it is built so tough, so good. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put this thing in there, put that orange gasket down back there on the bottom, and then install it. Should be pretty easy. Before I even install this thing, I didn't even go over what exactly Intercooler does. Intercooler, what it does is you have coolant that runs through here, cools down this unit right here, and as air comes in through the, I guess, engine or through the turbo, when the turbo is super hot, it's going to blow hot air. It's going to charge the air is going to come through the manifold, this intercooler right here, and should be cool, which cools down the air, goes into your engine, creates better power. So with the stock one, let's say you might get like a 60% cool down rate, because if you're racing, you know, it's hot regardless. So even if you're not racing, you can even be a recreational rider, you ride a little bit hard. This isn't going to cool down quite as fast because it only has a single pass. This is a double pass, and bigger fans, more cooling, bigger capacity, which is huge, which means it'll be a lot cooler. And so with that thing right there, you have to put this on there. Make sure you put that on there because you can't, it'll leak air and you lose power. Put this back on there, reinstall it, and as the air comes in, the coolant cools this bad boy down, cools down your air, charges your engine, and boom, more power. It's kind of a cheap and easy fix to get more power. I think these run about $650 to $700 for this guy right here, and this is going to be amazing. I can't wait to try it out. I can't wait to test it out. But for now, we're gonna go and reinstall this thing, fire it up, make sure everything's good to go, and when we do our next prep, our next testing, I'm gonna see just what it does. So stay tuned. We're gonna go and reinstall this thing, and should be done. All right, that's it. It's in there. It's installed. She looks pretty. Look at that thing. Wow. Only thing that's left to do is finish tightening up these bolts. I want to talk to you about the bolts that they give you. They give you these new bolts. I mean, these things have a way bigger head than the stock one. It's almost half the size, which means better clamping force, means tighter seal, tighter seal. I mean, obviously you're gonna flow more power, there's no leaks or anything like that. And I mean, overall, I mean, it was other than me having to remove the manifold and lift it up, I thought it was gonna be a lot easier. But if you have the engine off, it would probably be a lot easier. But it wasn't terrible. It really wasn't. There was literally 2 clamping bolts and 1 main, 1 holding on, and that's it. So it was 3 bolts. That undid it. It really popped up pretty easy. I wouldn't say it was really hard to do at all. I'm pretty pumped on it. So far, I mean, it looks good. I can't tell you how it performs just yet, but overall, I'm happy with the construction. I'm happy with, I mean, the overall look of it, the feel of it, all that stuff. So I'm hoping for better results. Last race we had it was 108 degrees when I think we left the line. It was really hot. So 108 degrees, and I mean the intake temperature was probably insane. Our iPad overheated at the starting line, which we had no iPad, left with 1 GPS system. Thank God for Lawrence. But so I'm stoked on it. Hopefully it'll cool down a little bit better than the stock one does and doesn't break. Polaris is notorious for having their intercoolers break when it wiggles, because it's such cheap thin metal that it literally will wiggle back and forth to the point where it cracks, leaks coolant into the intake, which sucks into the motor, hydrolocks the motor. I mean, and if you're on the throttle, you can bend rods, and you could do a lot of damage. So something that you wanted to kind of maybe put on your list, at not necessarily just for performance, but I mean just for longevity of your motor itself. I mean, this thing is not very old, but I'm doing all the things I possibly can. Like, I'm going to upgrade the radiator next. I think I'm going to mount it in this back window, just because, oh man, I can't explain to you how hot it was last race. It being 108 degrees, radiator up front diff is super hot as it is. I don't know if you guys are running 4-wheel drive like I do all the time, which I'm sure you guys probably do. It gets warm just with the front diff, and then you add 108 degrees plus the radiator working super hard, radiator lines going right between us. I mean, my shoes, I was wearing Vans during the race, my shoes melted. I had blisters on my feet. That's how hot it was. I am not joking, guys. It is it's pretty crazy. So I'm upgrading this engine with engine ice because we had some overheating issues. So engine ice is going into this thing. I'm doing everything I can to try to cool it down and make it happy. So I'm pumped. Thank you again to RPM Powersports. Take a look at them, rpmsidebyside.com or rpmsxs.com. I'll put it right down there. And as always, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. More racing videos. We have our last race in Yerington coming up next. And then after that, I'm either going to tear this car down completely, redo it again, or do some more racing. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys want to see? You guys want to see more build videos, more install videos, more racing videos, more cool shit videos? You guys tell me. Let me know down below. And as always, thank you again. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, all that cool stuff for these videos. I appreciate you guys' support, and we'll see you next one. Woo!